Welcome to all of you. Myself, Professor Pooja Sureshi Namke, Assistant Professor of Soil Science and Agriculture Chemistry in Sadhguru College of Agriculture, Mirasgaon. So, good morning, friends. Today we have discussed about the classification of fertilizer. Fertilizers, it is the synthetic material, organic or inorganic material which is provide the one or two to three essential or primary nutrients to the plant for the growth and development of plant through the soil. So these fertilizers are classified into the four part or three. It is important. First one is the nitrogenous fertilizer, second one is the phosphoric fertilizer, then third one is the potassic fertilizer, and third one is the complex fertilizer. So one by one we have discussed about. First one is the nitrogenous fertilizer. Nitrogenous fertilizer, it is more than 80% of the fertilizer used in the country are made up of nitrogenous fertilizer, particularly urea. So their nitrogenous fertilizer, they have again classified into the or subdivided into the four part. First one is the ammonical fertilizer, second one is the nitrate fertilizer, third one is the ammonical and nitrate fertilizer, and fourth one is the amide fertilizer. They are subdivided into these four part. So let's we see that the example of ammonical fertilizer, ammonium sulphate, ammonium chloride, anhydrous ammonia. These are the example of ammonical fertilizer. It contains the nitrogen in the form of ammonia in the given examples. Then in case of the nitrate fertilizer, the nitrogenous fertilizer in that form nitrate, the nitrogen is available form of that fertilizer in case of the nitrate. Example is the sodium nitrate, calcium nitrate, and potassium nitrate. Then next one, third one important part in case of the nitrogenous fertilizer, ammonical and nitrate. Example is the ammonium nitrate, calcium ammonium nitrate, that is called the CAN fertilizer, and ammonium sulphate nitrate. So these are the examples of ammonical and nitrate fertilizer. These fertilizer containing both form of nitrogen, ammonical and nitrate form, they are present into that example. Then last one, it is important nitrogenous fertilizer, that is amide fertilizer, and this fertilizer used in this country large amount. So example is the urea and calcium cyanamide. These are the examples of amide fertilizer, means nitrogenous. This nitrogenous fertilizer contain the nitrogen in the amide form. So this fertilizer is called amide fertilizer. Example is urea and calcium cyanamide. Then the nitrogenous fertilizer can be further classified, means they are explaining. In case of the ammonical fertilizer contain the nutrient nitrogen in the form of ammonia, ammonium, and ammonia. Except rice, all crops absorb nitrogen in a nitrate form. These fertilizers are resistant to leaching loss as the ammonium ions get ready to absorb the colloidal complex of the soil as comparison to other fertilizer. Then in case of the ammonium, examples of this ammonical fertilizer or ammonium fertilizers, ammonium sulphate, it is a white salt completely soluble in water containing 20.6% nitrogen, 24% sulfur. Then it is used advantageously in rice and jute cultivations. This fertilizer used largely in case of the rice crop, in case of the jute crop. It is easily to handle and it is stored well under a dry condition, but during rainy season it sometimes from lumps. It can be applied before sowing, at the time of sowing, or as a top dressing to the growing crop. So it is important. Example in case of the ammonical fertilizer, that is ammonium sulphate, it contains the 20% nitrogen and 24% sulfur. So it is a combination of one important primary nutrient and second one is the secondary nutrient, that is sulfur. It is a combination of both primary and secondary. Then next one example is the ammonium sulphate. It is the white salt completely nitrate fertilizer. In case of the nitrate fertilizer, second example of nitrogenous fertilizer, ammonium chloride. It is a white salt contain 26% of nitrogen. It is usually not recommended for tomato, tobacco and such other crops as may be injured by chlorine. So these fertilizer they have not largely used as comparison to ammonium sulphate. So it is the important example of nitrogenous fertilizer in case of the ammonical fertilizer or ammonium fertilizer. Then next one important types in case of the nitrogenous fertilizer, that is nitrate fertilizer in the form of nitrate fertilizer. Nitrate fertilizer contain the nitrogen in the form of NO3. Then these ions are easily lost by leaching because the greater mobility of nitrate ions in the soil. The continuously use of this fertilizer may be reduce the soil acidity, as the nitrogenous fertilizer are basic in their residual effect on the soil. So what are the difference between ammonium fertilizer and nitrate fertilizer? These ammonium fertilizer they are cannot be lost by leaching, but the nitrate fertilizer they are lost by leaching easily. So that is the main difference in case of the both fertilizer. So generally the ammonical fertilizer is largely used as comparison to nitrate fertilizer. Then in case of the example of the nitrate fertilizer, that is potassium nitrate. The purified salt contains 30% of nitrogen and 36% of potassium. The nitrogen of the potassium nitrate has the same property and value as that the sodium nitrate. Then third one important types in case of the nitrogenous fertilizer, that is ammonical and nitrate fertilizer. This fertilizer contain nitrogen in a both form. First one is the ammonium and second one is the nitrate. The nitrate are useful for rapid utilization by crop, as the ammonical are gradually available. So in this fertilizer the available, everyone know that plant they have nitrogen are accept by the nitrate form. It is the available form of nitrogen in case of the plant. So plant are accept this nitrogen in that form, that is nitrate form. So these fertilizer they are easily useful to their rapid utilization of the crop, easily available to the crop, this nitrogenous fertilizer in the form of nitrate. And in case of the ammonical they are gradually available, it store the long time. Then in case of the example of that nitrate ammonical and in case of the nitrate fertilizer, that is the calcium nitrate. It is a white crystal hygroscopic solid soluble in water, contain 15.5% nitrogen and 19.5% calcium. The calcium is useful for maintaining the desirable soil pH. So it is the important example of nitrate fertilizer. Then in case of the ammonium sulphate nitrate, that is the example of ammonium nitrate fertilizer. It contains the 26% nitrogen, 3/4 of its ammonical form and the rest 6.5% as a nitrate nitrogen. It is a mixture of ammonium nitrate and ammonium sulphate. It is absorb moisture from atmosphere and has to be kept in the moisture proof containers. It is readily converted to ammonical and nitrate form in the soil. The nitrogen in urea is readily fixed in the soil in an ammonical form and it is not lost in drainage. Urea spray are readily absorbed by plant. It may be applied at a sowing or as a top dressing. It is suitable for most crop, can be applied to all soils. So it is ammonium sulphate nitrate. It is important fertilizer, or it is the example of ammonium nitrate fertilizer. Then next one is the fourth one important part, that is the amide fertilizer. Amide fertilizer are readily soluble in water and easily decomposable in the soil. Important example is the urea. It is the most concentrated solid nitrogen fertilizer containing 46% nitrogen. In case of the superphosphate, so I think so everyone understand that classification of that fertilizer, and first one classify first one types are explained, that is nitrogenous fertilizer. So thank you so much everyone.